Okay, so I figure if everyone wants to play inZoi, but a lot of people don't know about computers, my recommendation is just to buy parts and put it together yourself. So, my first and go to place is generally PC Part Picker. You can find a lot of things and you can find if they work, and I think that's a big deal because it wouldn't do you no good to buy them if they're not going to work together. Um, so I go to the site, PC Part Picker. There's some build guides, some stuff on there you can look at if you so choose. But I just start your build right on the page, pcpartpicker.com. Here you'll see all the parts you can choose to pick from. We have a thing up here for compatibility. If anything is incompatible, it'll let you know. Generally, it runs on a compatibility filter, so you don't have to worry about that. Starting here, we have our first few parts here: CPU, cooler, motherboard, memory, storage, video card, that kind of stuff. In simpler terms, your CPU is kind of like the brain of your computer, okay? More cores, more things you can run. So, if you want to get into 3D designing stuff, you're going to want more cores. More cores is better. Um, I think with the way things are right now, I would say 12 would be a good place to start and work up from there as needed. Um, inZoi is currently recommending at a minimum that you use an Intel i5. However, I have an i5 and it is not quite up to snuff. Their recommended setting is an i7. I would say go with their recommended settings if you're going to buy one. So for this, we're going to look at an i7. Storage, how much crap are you going to keep on your computer? A lot of these games take up a lot of space. It used to be a few gigabytes would do you well, but now with the size of these games, 1 terabyte is probably the smallest amount of storage you're going to want. And then we're going to talk about different types of storage. We're not going to talk about hard drives. Hard drives are out. We're not doing that. You can get an SSD. M.2s are probably the best for space saving, best for speed. Highly recommend. So we'll probably just be looking at that. We'll get there when we get there. Your video card, as it says here, is actually what we call your graphics card or your GPU. That is, if you want to run your games on ultra settings, then that's what you're going to want. You're going to want a better one. At minimum, to play inZoi right now, you need a 2070 card, okay? Their recommended settings are 3070. I'm going to say let's go with recommended settings because we want the game to actually run and run smoothly, especially when the full release comes out. So we're going to look at a 3070. Your operating system is like Windows, Linux, that kind of stuff. I just go Windows 10. That's my personal preference. So that's what I'll be recommending. And then other stuff you can look at on your own. This is the beef of what we're going to be looking at. And I'm just going to recommend things, and we're going to pretty much go with the cheapest end of things because I know money is tight for a lot of people right now. Here, once you click on that, oh, look at all these options. So many options. We're going to try and narrow this down. All right, price. How much am I willing to pay? Maximum, minimum, AMD or Intel. If you have a preference, I prefer Intel, but to each their own. You can choose your ratings if you want to make sure something is at least got 4-star ratings. It used to be that this was very handy, but a lot of people don't rate on PC Part Picker anymore. So take this all with a grain of salt. Core count. Again, I recommend a minimum of 12 to run things smoothly. A lot more options here. We're not going to worry about that too much. I've never used an AMD, so I can't really make a recommendation on there, but they do say a Core i7 as they're recommended. So we'll just select a few of these here just to give us options in case something better is on sale. Oh my gosh, all this other stuff. We're not going to worry too much about it. All right, so over here you can filter by all these different things. We're gonna filter by price because we're going for budget build. All right, we have an i7, hooray. 12 core count, everything looks good. Cool. And it's on the cheaper end, considering, even though it's really not that cheap. But you can look at all these. If you need to find out which one's really gonna work best for you, go on Intel's website, compare the specs. We're going cheap, so this is what we're picking. All right, so the next thing we're going to pick, we have our CPU picked out. The next most important thing to run our game is our video card, our GPU. So we're gonna pick that, and we'll go back to the other stuff later. Okay, overwhelmed with options again. So let's try and narrow this down if we can. If you have a preferred manufacturer, great, go for it. And look at all of these. It's not sorted right now. Right now it's just by, like, I think most popular. And I don't see the one we're looking for listed here. So we're gonna have to hit the show more and scroll for eternity. Oh my goodness. Okay, keep going. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, now we're in the 20 series. Keep going. Here we are, 30. 30, 70. Cool. We're gonna check a few of these just in case anything is on sale. We're gonna hit the first 3082 just in case. Okay. Oh my goodness, it goes on forever. Alrighty. And again, we have more options here if you know more about this stuff and you want to get fancy with it or really specific with it. If you're just learning, don't worry about it too much. There's color options if you're really picky about how it looks when it's all done. All this stuff. Here you can see I accidentally checked DVI. DVI is no more. Don't do that. There was just an example. Whether you use DVI, which is ancient, HDMI, DisplayPort, whatever you plug your monitors into, and how many monitors you have, you could filter through this too. I run a 2-monitor setup and I use DisplayPort cables because I think it's better quality. Most people run an HDMI. Either or is fine. Just make sure you have enough ports going into your graphics card to support the number of monitors you're going to use, because you want them plugged directly into your graphics card. It's going to really screw you over later if you don't have enough space and you're like, I wanted to run 4 monitors, but I only have 2 ports. Well, good luck. It won't work like that. All right, back up to the top here. We're going to filter by price. Because again, we're going for budget build, bare minimum to run inZoi. So here, if you hover over, you can see bigger images of the graphics cards. You can get fancy if you really want it to look fancy, but that's going to cost you more in the end. So, and then you can see some of these have 2 fans, some of these have 3 fans. I'm going to recommend 3 fans. Just for better cooling, my personal opinion. I like the 3 fans. I had a 2-fan once, and it was really hard to keep that cool. So, here's a nice 3-fan one. Within our price range, all good. That's what we're doing. Adding that in there. All right. Next, we'll choose our motherboard, because these 2 things are going to plug directly into our motherboard. Our motherboard's pretty important. Everything communicates with each other through our motherboard. So here, manufacturer, if you want to get fancy and choose that, don't worry about the ratings. Here you can see I'm kind of like deciding whether or not I'm going to pick a brand. Yeah, like the socket, the CPU size, don't worry about that. We have our compatibility filter on, so we don't have to worry about searching for one that's going to fit and knowing that information. Thank you, PC Part Picker, because that makes our lives so much easier. Form factor, what size, like, case you're gonna go with, I guess, so to speak. Your memory type that you're gonna be plugging into there, that's like your RAM. DDR5 recommended, it's the newest one, runs the best. You can check that if you want to. How many memory slots, how many sticks of RAM are you going to want to put in your computer? believe it or not, some of these still only come with 2 slots. So you might want to change your minimum from 1 to 2, 4. 4 is recommended. 64 is the new best thing. It was the new minimum, quote unquote, according to some people. If you care how many USBs you have, especially if you have a lot of crap plugged in, make sure you are specific here, or if you pick one, check it out first. Make sure you read all about it. Wireless networking, if you don't have a LAN cable for your computer, you're going to need some way to connect to the internet. Desktops are not laptops. So if you have no way or don't want to run a ridiculously long LAN cable from your Wi-Fi router to your computer, pick one that has Wi-Fi capability. Make your life easy. They're not great, they're not perfect, but it will do. Oh my, we scrolled quite a ways. Alright, back up to the top. We're going to filter again by price, starting with lowest to highest. And take a quick little look at these guys. In here, categories, rating, color, memory slots, how many sticks of RAM are you going to put in that thing? The more the merrier. Go with more if you can. If the money is really that tight, 2 will be fine. You'll just end up having to pay more for the sticks of RAM. Because, Alright, so here we see one that has 4. The price difference is like $20. For $20, I would say, heck yeah, buy the one with more memory slots. But if money is really that tight and $20 is going to make a big difference, make that decision for yourself. Personally, yeah, go with the 4. Just go with the 4. But we're doing a super, a super budget build here. So we're probably just going to go ahead and pick the one for the 2 memory slots and go from there. Like I said, 32 is probably the smallest. And then keep in mind, this one here says DDR4. We're going to want DDR5 memory slots. So we can just select that and filter out all this nonsense to save ourselves the trouble of having to look. Yeah. Oh, and look here. Our first one is going to be a perfect fit. Okay, it's got an M.2 drive and it takes DDR5. $88. Perfect. We're adding that. Up here, I see red compatibility warning up at the top. Don't worry about that. Well, it's nonsense right now because we're not done. All right, so here is that RAM I was just talking about. This is your working memory. This is where you're going to pick those pieces to fit into those 2 slots. Manufacturer, we recommend Corsair, but you can see there's a ton of stuff. Some stuff's already grayed out because it's not going to work with our motherboard because we have the compatibility filter on. So no worries there. So we're just going to pick Corsair because we've never had any issues with Corsair. And then you can see they're all grayed out because our motherboard only takes DDR5, but, no worries. They're all already filtered. DDR5, thank you, compatibility filter. Here you can choose 1 stick of 8, 2 sticks of 16, 1 stick of 16, 1 stick of 8. You can get really crazy. Let's make it easy. We're going to go 2 16s. So I could just look through this list and pick one, but my attention span is really short, so we're going to minimize it because it's right here on one of the recommended ones, or most popular ones, I should say. So we're going to click that. 2 16s will give us that 32. But we're also going to click 2 32s just in case something's on sale, so you can get something better for the same price. Color, if you want to get fancy, more options. Again, we're not going to worry about this. If you're just starting out, don't go crazy. Don't worry about that stuff yet. If you really get into computer building later, you can. All right, here we are. DDR5, 6400 down here. Got a 6000 up here. Okay. You can see this breaks it all down for you. And we're going to go filter by price because, again, budget build. and look and see what shows up at the top here. All right, these are all 32 gigabytes because we already chose to filter by 2 sticks of 16. Some of these have ratings, some of these don't. We're starting with a lowest price of $79.99. Our speed, DDR5, all DDR5. And you can see as the price goes up, so does the speed of these. So do with that information what you will. I tend to, if I'm budgeting, I tend to still go mid-grade. But if it's really a big deal, this will get you by, okay? Don't worry about it. $79.99, go for it. Keep in mind though, this is a 4800. The higher that number goes, the better performance you're also going to have. So if you need to, $79.99 will do it. Or pick something a little lower down the list that's a little higher. Look at the 6000 right there. Okay? Look at the 56, look at the 52. All of these can work. There's a bit of a price difference. I mean, that's a $20 difference. So we're going to go with the lowest one. Again, budget build. We still have that compatibility warning. It's probably something stupid because we're still building right now. Down here you can see our running total, our base total, our discounts, and what we're looking at after the discounts. You can see where each one of these is getting purchased from, what the price is. We have our CPU, we have our motherboard, we have our memory, and we have our GPU. All right, these are the, bones of our build. These are the big deals, okay? Also, some of the most expensive stuff you're going to have to buy. So congratulations, you've probably already spent more than half your budget. So from here on out, things will look a little more affordable, hopefully. So the next thing we're going to look at here is our storage. This is the long-term memory, basically. This is where things are going to be kept for you to pull them up when you want them. Storage for your games, storage for pictures and files and stuff like that. Your operating system will also get stored on one of these. You can choose to buy more than one. I have 2 in my computer right now. They work great. M.2 are what we're going to recommend. You can see some of these still have really good ratings, high ratings, good prices. Our compatibility filter's on, we know it's going to work. 1 terabyte, sure. All right, we'll just make that one real easy. You can get crazy with these SSDs. Pick and choose, okay? The one we saw on top there was already perfect for what we were going to need. It was already one of the lowest prices I've seen, and I've been looking. So I went ahead and picked it, but you can look a little more if you want to. Next, we're going to look at our power supply. We can see here at the top, our estimated wattage right now is $4.99. We could probably get away with something, a little way less than these, but $7.50 is what I've chosen for just about every one of my computers so far. It's because I tend to add a little more extra lighting or fans or whatever as I go. So that wattage does go up for me. You could choose something lighter if you want to. We're going to scroll down. Go with Corsair. We never have problems with Corsair. Okay, when it comes to your power supply, there is a real risk that your computer will overheat, that power source will overheat and actually start a fire. Okay, so if you're blowing, at least, I'm guaranteeing this is going to be at least $1,000. If you are blowing $1,000 on building a budget computer, that's a budget, you definitely don't want a power supply that's going to burn your new child here. Let's not take any risks. There's other brands you can pick from if you know of them. Great. I'm not trying to, it's not like I work for Corsair. I really don't care what you buy. My own personal opinion, my own personal spiel here. Your wattage, your minimum, your maximum. Again, we have compatibility filter on. Here we have modular. Okay, this is all the cords that are going to be coming out of this thing. So it can get to be a real pain in the butt, especially if you're got a little computer, a little tiny area to be working with. I recommend a semi-modular. Full modular is cool. it's just easier to maneuver in your computer case once you get there. Color, if that matters. A lot of PC cases have shrouds you don't have to worry about. Never do fanless. I think that's just stupid. Why would you do fanless? If it can overheat, you want a fan. You want the fan to blow that hot air out of there and keep it cool. So don't choose no. It wouldn't do you any good. Here we have more options. Again, we're just starting, so we're not gonna worry about those. You can look into those later if you really get into this, but so we're gonna go back up to the top here. I'm gonna filter by price. All right. First one on our list here is a 650 watt. We need at least 5, $4.99, 5. I have a 750 in mine. Like I said, it works great. And for like a $4 price difference, like I would just go with the 750 personally, because then you can add more stuff if you want to later, especially if you think you want to get into streaming and stuff. For $4, we're going to add that one, even though it's budget. But okay. And the compatibility warning's still on here. What the heck is this about? All right, as we scroll down, we can see our incompatibility. It's talking about a CPU cooler, but we haven't chose one yet, so we can disregard that because we're going up here to choose one anyways. Here we go, CPU cooler. So this is going to attach to your CPU, to your motherboard, and it's got fans to blow that hot air out. Most of what everybody picks now is called an all-in-one unit, an AIO. It's like a liquid cooling, but you don't have to run the tubes and deal with all that crap. Brands, we don't have a preferred brand, personally. Anything works. Corsair is cool because they have the IQ thing you can download on your computer to change the colors, make it look pretty. I have a lot of Corsair stuff on my computer right now, so I can make the lights do all sorts of crazy crap, and I like it. But I had extra money to blow at the time. Right now, we're budgeting, so don't worry about it. If you have a preferred brand, go for it. Color, if you have a special color you want, if you really want to make it look pretty, go for it. The size is only going to matter when it comes to your case, but again, I would choose this first and then build the case around it. I wouldn't worry too much about making this fit into the case. Make the case fit your parts. That's my go-to. Again, we have more options. I'm looking at these here, and none of this right now is going to be super relevant. Well, yeah, kind of. The water-cooled might. But let's see what we got first. Yeah. I mean, we could select them. But if you see here, when you hover over these things, you're going to see some of these ugly looking things. This is the old air cooling system. Before the AIOs became a thing, when you only had air cooled or liquid cooled, and the liquid cooling was a pain in the butt and everyone was going air cooled. Now we have the option for the AIOs. We're going to completely disregard air cooling. Okay. Here we have 2 fan options as well. I like the 3 fan setup personally. I feel like it cools more efficiently. All right, here, filter by price. I guess the lowest one is this AIO single fan. Don't recommend. More fans, more cooling. Keep your stuff cool. Keep it running smoothly. You don't want it to overheat and cause some kind of mechanical issue. Okay, if you're paying this much money, spend a little more to ensure that it is taken care of. I'm looking at some of these brands here. I've never heard of Thermalright, so I can't really say one way or the other. This is 1 5-star review on here, but this is just on here. Again, whatever place is selling them is where you're gonna look. I'm looking at these RPMs. It's pretty much the efficiency of the cooler. And like, look at this. If I had to pick from these, I would definitely look for a 3 fan that cools a little more efficiently. I think we might have to play with our filters a little more, because my attention span is suffering from all these options. So I think we're Yeah, I think we're just going to go back up and filter. This will take so long to go through all these, but there's a lot of options. NZXT is a good brand. We know of them. MSI, Cooler Master, Corsair, which I've already mentioned like 10 times. They're a really popular brand. And I swear, I do not work for Corsair. I don't sell their stuff. They sell it to me pretty efficiently. All right, so I just skipped through here because I did a lot of browsing and no. So we're just going to filter. These are the fans. 240 is like 2 fans. So we're going to go just one above that and or below, I should say, and down to get us closer to the 3 fan setup. It might be harder with some of the cases, but efficiency, I think, is more important. The cases can come later. All right, so we filtered that. We have all these options, not a whole lot of ratings. If you're looking at brands you don't know, kind of like I'm doing here with this Thermalright, I've never heard of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the one with the most ratings, the most stars. Or you can click on it and actually like go to the website that's selling it and look at the reviews there. I'm being a little lazy on this one. I'm sure it'll work fine. It's got all the right specs, and if they were kind enough to rate it on PC Part Picker, then I'm not going to worry too much about it. All right, so we have our CPU picked out, our cooler, motherboard, memory, storage, pretty much the more expensive parts, the parts that are really going to make a big difference. Yeah, our memory. Yeah, our memory looks good. Everything looks good. I think we'll be okay with our 1TB M.2. We got the right video card. That's kind of one of the most important bits. Again, you can see how much money it cost because it is very important. It's very powerful. We have our case. That's another thing people like to look at. Oh gosh, you can see this old one I had starred from way back when. I think that was my first one. I don't recommend that case. It was good for airflow, but that's about it. It was a pain to build in. So what we're going to look for when we're looking at cases is, as I just mentioned, airflow. You want to make sure you have a place for all that hot air to go. So for efficiency's sake, you're going to want mesh on the back and some kind of mesh or something on the front. So whether it be on top, on the side, look for where the air is going to flow. You're going to want to suck in the cool air from the outside and blow it out with the radiator. You're going to want a mid or a full. The rest of these are tiny things. You don't want the tiny things. Color if you want it. Some of these come with integrated power. Don't worry about that. We already got our power supply, so we're not going to worry. The side panel, what you like, people that like to show off their PCs, what you see from the outside. If you're really going for looks, you're probably not watching this because you probably already know how to build. But if you have a ton of money and you really care how it looks, you can get these glass panels, these on the outside. You get something real fancy like this thing here. Oh my goodness. But again, we're going budget. So pick one of those if you want to. I wouldn't. Then the power supply shroud. Oh, these are so lovely. Let me see if I can find one. See that little white box at the bottom? That's actually a power supply shroud. That will help hide some of your wires. Okay, you don't want a bunch of ugly wires sticking out and around. Even if you really don't care what it looks like, you do to some degree, I'm sure. So, we don't have to worry about these options here because we have our compatibility filter on and we've already chosen all the important things. We're still not going to trust it entirely though, because when it comes to the cases, not all is as it seems. Okay. Yep. Compatibility filter is on. That's our running price right now, so we can keep that in mind as we're choosing a case. Here, we're going to change the price filter. The most we're willing to pay for a budget case is, let's say, around $200. Okay. So anything between 0 and 205 is going to show up here now. And then we're going to filter even further by price, lowest to highest. Do good research on your cases, okay? And I'm going to show you why in a minute here. But yeah, look at some of these, no airflow. No airflow. How is that going to help you? It's not pretty. Has some airflow. Better than others. And it has a power supply shroud too, which is nice. I've never heard of this brand, but hey, it's pretty. Some of these also come with fans, but again, we can't judge by looks. Okay, we're looking, oh, we got some reviews here. That could be helpful. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this is the first time I've actually clicked on one of these things. So I'm going to show you the features real quick. On the left here, like I just pointed out, you can see the general reviews if they've reviewed it on PC Part Picker. As you scroll down on the right here is the price chart. It shows you on a graph the history, if the price is up right now, if the price is down right now, what's the lowest or highest it's been since whenever. Here are the reviews. Okay, so I'm looking at what this guy says here. Oh, look at that. It comes with some RGB fans, which is nice, which means they light up. The top of the case only has 2 USB ports, which could be a problem, or 2 USB 2.0, 1 3.0. Could be a problem depending on the headset you use, if you use a controller, stuff like that. This stuff kind of as I predicted, but here, particularly, tight cable management in the rear panel, no room for your all-in-one, and no room for a three fan GPU. That's going to be a problem for us because we have a 3-fan GPU picked out. Look at these pictures. Those are little tiny GPUs. Well, that one might be a 3, but look at these, tiny. That's definitely not what we picked. It's not going to work for us, so we're going to go back. Oh boy. All right. No airflow, better airflow, and power shroud. No reviews. Maybe. Let's click on it. All right, it's sold by Newegg, which means we might be able to find reviews there. Looking at the price filters, look. Oh, these guys built with it, not bad. Okay, we're gonna go to Newegg. And this is what you do if there's not a lot of reviews, okay? You're going to go on the site that's selling it, and you're going to scroll down to look at the reviews. Okay. Keep scrolling. Okay. Thankfully, these people have been nice enough to review these things for us. We got 5 stars, 4 stars, 3, 2, 1 eggs, I guess, because we're on Newegg, but stars. All right. Look at this. Perfect. It came with fans pre-installed. Awesome. Airflow is good. Awesome. Picture looks pretty good. Let's see. Look at that. That looks like a 3-fan GPU, but I could be wrong. It's hard to tell from these angles. So let's scroll down and see what other people had to say. Oh, these ones. I love these ones. Look at so much information you can find on these. Okay, so this guy, it's small. Damn, that's going to be a problem. Small case is hard to build in. Not bad, but maybe not. Let's look for one that's going to work good for us. Okay. Back up to where we were, kind of. Stay up near the top here. That could work. It's got 35-star reviews on PC Part Picker, so it might be worth our time to look at this one. Let's click on it. Look at these pictures. Oh, they even give you specs. That's lovely. Okay, this is thorough. This is good. You can look at more pictures if you want to. I'm not going to. Plenty of people selling it. Looking at the price chart here, it's about average. The price is neither down nor up. I mean, it's on the higher end, but still. All right. This guy built in 2023. Thanks to that little tidbit there. Looks good. The case fans are horrible. Don't worry about that because, again, you're probably not even going to use them all. And you could always buy more. They're not expensive. Okay. Cable management is easier. That's good. Cable management's a big problem with some of these cases. It's just where you put in all those cords. You don't want them like sticking out. Okay, this guy used a 240 all-in-one. I think that's what we have. Looking at this guy's, I know this is really boring stuff, but this is really important stuff too. These guys have all made the mistakes for us, so we don't. So far, it looks pretty good. Here's some pictures of people that have built with it. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's plenty of space in it. The price is good. We're adding it. Okay. Cool. We're going to keep it because that's a good price for a good case. All right, we've got all the big stuff chose. All that's really left to pick is the operating system, which you absolutely need. You can't not. These prices are pretty much set. They don't change too much. Things do get a little confusing with these, oh my goodness, all these options. I'm a Windows 10 person, so I'm going to ignore the 11 options. Here I'm going to struggle a little bit because I was a little confused what they meant by home retail, pro retail, all that stuff. I'm filtering by price, first of all. You can see Windows 11 is the cheapest right now, probably because nobody wants it. When choosing, don't choose DVD unless you have bought a computer part to play CDs, DVDs, like a disc loader. Like, I know this is bad. This is old school stuff now, okay? So be very particular when you are picking which one of these. Go with the USB unless you are purposely buying one, like a disc reader to add into your build, which is going to cost you more money. Looking back, I now realize that there is no price available for it, so it wasn't factored into our total cost. They generally run a little over $100. Like the prices you saw for the Windows 11 is pretty much the prices you're going to see for the Windows 10. PC Part Picker shows you the prices on affiliated websites. So that's that I think it's called B&H. There's Newegg, there's Amazon, and I think there might be one other. But there are more sites you can buy from, not just these. But this is a good place to start. This is where you can find the parts you're looking for, or parts that will work together, so you know once you get them, they are going to fit together, okay? Round peg does not go in a square hole kind of thing. Another website you can look at that is not listed on here, but I mean, like eBay. If you know exactly what part you're looking for, you can shop for it on eBay. The operating system, since there's none available right here, you can go on the Windows store. The Windows has its own store where you can buy it, okay? You can choose where you buy these things. Newegg, PC Part Picker is just showing you the cheapest price on its affiliated websites, okay? There are more options out there. So if you didn't want to buy it from Amazon particularly, you could click on one of these, look and see, okay, that one's only offered by Amazon. But anyways, if it was offered by any other website, it would be listed underneath. I'm sure you've seen it as we've gone through this video. All right, our total cost right now, $1149.87. Our promo discounts of $81 total after any kind of sales or rebates. And then our total after that. Guaranteed to spend the base total amount, okay? The total at the bottom there is nice. That would be what you get back after like rebates and stuff if you choose to do that. Down here you can see what are these discounts. Well, we have promo codes, which is great, which means no rebates. That means you're just getting money off. Cool. That would make life easier. Don't forget, we also forgot to count in the cost of the Windows Home operating system. These little numbers, if you click on them, it'll bring you down to here. Okay, here you're going to see your compatibility notes. Some of these are like confusing. Generally, PC Part Picker does a pretty good job of making sure things work together. So if it gets confusing like this, don't worry about it. We already checked to make sure that our CPU cooler and stuff was going to fit in our case, so we took care of that. We got all these options. If you want to really get creative and look into these, you can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You can look price history. But all in all, once you've logged in, you can choose to save your list if you want to keep it and maybe not just not buy those things right now. You can save it and start a new one. So if you're like, I like this, but I think I saw some other options. If you look there, our estimated wattage is still well below the one we chose. So you could choose to go with a lesser one, but it won't make too big of a difference price-wise, personally. I just stick with 750, 740, whatever we chose. And here is a link. So I will actually post the link to this one that we just built in the comments. So that you could start from this and build on from it, or, you know, just be lazy and choose that one, I guess. Whatever floats your boat. Honestly, no judgment here. Everybody is different. Do what works for you. This is just my super boring, super easy explanation of things. I may have said some incorrect things. I did catch myself a couple times. I have the attention span of a housefly lately, so do take it easy on me. If you have any questions, just comment and I will try my best to answer them, or maybe somebody else will answer them for you. Hopefully correctly. Hope it helps. So we're not buying a disc reader for obvious reasons. So we're going to particularly look for a Windows 10 USB version. Okay. So I'm probably going to fast forward through some of this here because I did struggle. I did struggle to find the home version that was a USB version. So I had to click on one of these just to make sure I was looking at the right thing. Again, I'm fast forwarding through all this stuff so you don't have to suffer like I did. But we chose it. Okay, we found it. We chose it. It's good. Looking back, I now realize that there is no price available for it, so it wasn't factored into our total cost. They generally run a little over $100. Like the prices you saw for the Windows 11 is pretty much the prices you're going to see for the Windows 10. PC Part Picker shows you the prices on affiliated websites. So that's that I think it's called B&H. There's Newegg, there's Amazon, and I think there might be one other. But there are more sites you can buy from, not just these. But this is a good place to start. This is where you can find the parts you're looking for, or parts that will work together, so you know once you get them, they are going to fit together. Okay? Round peg does not go in a square hole kind of thing. Another website you can look at that is not listed on here. I will actually list some, but I mean, like eBay. If you know exactly what part you're looking for, you can shop for it on eBay. The operating system, since there's none available right here, you can go on the Windows store. The Windows has its own store where you can buy it. Okay. You can choose where you buy these things. Newegg, PC Part Picker is just showing you the cheapest price on its affiliated websites. Okay. There are more options out there. So if you didn't want to buy it from Amazon, particularly, you could click on one of these, look and see. Okay, that one's only offered by Amazon. Let's see. Here's another one for Amazon. Let's see if it's sold anywhere else. Nope. Don't want to click on that. Let's try this one. Okay, only Amazon. All right, we're gonna go back. See if I can actually find one to show you, because it doesn't do you much good if I don't have any kind of example. But anyways, if it was offered by any other website, it would be listed underneath. I'm sure you've seen it as we've gone through this video. All right, our total cost right now, $1149.87. Our promo discounts of $81 total after any kind of sales or rebates. And then our total after that. Guaranteed to spend the base total amount, okay? The total at the bottom there is nice. That would be what you get back after like rebates and stuff if you choose to do that. Down here you can see what are these discounts. Well, we have promo codes, which is great, which means no rebates. That means you're just getting money off. Cool. That would make life easier. Don't forget, we also forgot to count in the cost of the Windows Home operating system. These little numbers, if you click on them, it'll bring you down to here. Okay, here you're going to see your compatibility notes. Some of these are like confusing. Generally, PC Part Picker does a pretty good job of making sure things work together. So if it gets confusing like this, don't worry about it. We already checked to make sure that our CPU cooler and stuff was going to fit in our case, so we took care of that. We got all these options. If you want to really get creative and look into these, you can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You can look price history. But all in all, once you've logged in, you can choose to save your list if you want to keep it and maybe not just not buy those things right now. You can save it and start a new one. So if you're like, I like this, but I think I saw some other options. If you look there, our estimated wattage is still well below the one we chose. So you could choose to go with a lesser one, but it won't make too big of a difference price wise. Personally, I just stick with 750, 740, whatever we chose. And here is a link. So I will actually post the link to this one that we just built in the comments, so that you could start from this and build on from it, or, just be lazy and choose that one, I guess. Whatever floats your boat. Honestly, no judgment here. But yeah, when I build mine, I generally have like 3 lists going at once, because I'm like, I like this part, but I like it better with this other part. But now the one I really want doesn't work with what I have. So I'm going to build another one, and then I use that to compare the prices. And that's how I make my final decision. Everybody is different. Do what works for you. This is just my super boring, super easy explanation of things. I may have said some incorrect things. I did catch myself a couple times. I have the attention span of a housefly lately, so do take it easy on me. If you have any questions, just comment and I will try my best to answer them, or maybe somebody else will answer them for you. Hopefully correctly. Hope it helps.